Contrary to an outdated belief, single-player games are far from dying anytime soon. And there are so many great games that are just looming over the horizon. This list will run down 15 amazing single-player epics that you might not know are coming. These games are a mix of lesser-known developers, debut projects, teams that have already set the internet ablaze with hype, and experimental titles that are trying something that's quite out of the box. Some of these games do have elements of multiplayer or co-op, but each of these games can be played entirely solo as well. So without further ado, let's dive right in. Black Myth: Zhongqi. Black Myth: Wukong was one of the biggest surprise hits of recent memory, but developer Game Science has ensured that it has more games in the pipeline. Much like how Wukong took players to amazing worlds and made them face against awesome bosses, Zhongqi is all set to take things up a notch above its predecessor. We don't really know much about the game at this point in time, but it's going to be a fast-paced adventure with plenty of boss fights and picturesque vistas. There's no release period announced just yet. Project TAL. Shrouded in mystery and quietly brewing behind the scenes, Project TAL is one of those games that seems designed to spark curiosity. While the developers haven't shown much, early hints point towards a story-heavy action experience that's not short on scale. The teaser material suggests a world that's governed by mystique, and the combat loop would be precise. It's still in early production, but the atmosphere alone has been enough to turn heads for the time being. According to reports, the game is set to release sometime in 2027. Swords of Legends. Swords of Legends is a game that's based on a rather popular TV drama from Asia, as you take on the role of an underworld enforcer guiding souls to safely pass to the afterlife. It's a unique concept, and given the popularity of the show it's based on, there's a lot of great storytelling stuff that the developer can dive into to make this very interesting. It's an RPG at its core, so expect plenty of exploration and combat while you remain engrossed for hours upon hours on end. There's no release date yet, but it would be fair to expect this one to arrive by 2026 at the earliest. The Relic: First Guardian. The Relic: First Guardian is shaping up to be a dark fantasy epic where dark magic, ancient kingdoms that are older than time, and cursed entities come together to create a coherent world. You play as a guardian bound to a mysterious artifact that both empowers and endangers you, making it a double-edged sword. Early footage shows colossal beasts and large arenas that's reminiscent of games like Shadow of the Colossus. Combat in the Relic is quite heavy, which rewards strategy rather than flashy button mashing. But what makes it so interesting is the world building at play and the possibility of environmental storytelling. And it might just end up becoming one of those quiet masterpieces players talk about for years. The Relic: First Guardian has no release date, but we can strongly assume that this one will be out next year. Where Winds Meet. Set against the backdrop of China's Five Dynasties period, Where Winds Meet is all about uncovering the truth behind your identity while navigating the tumultuous, war-torn kingdom that's filled with all sorts of threats to fight and secrets to discover. With a rich visual identity and an extensive open world, Where Winds Meet is a game that will keep you deeply engrossed with its wuxia-inspired combat and a gameplay loop that's higher on player agency. Phantom Blade Zero. Phantom Blade Zero might just be one of the most stylish games on this list, and that's by virtue of the incredible combat that set the internet on fire with its first showings. Built using Unreal Engine 5, Phantom Blade Zero puts you in the shoes of an assassin on a quest to kill the members of a peculiar organization by the name of The Order. Memorable boss fights and quality animations are some of the biggest highlights, making Phantom Blade Zero a game that we will be checking out when it releases for PS5 and PC in 2026. Ballad of Antara. Ballad of Antara comes from Tipworks, the team behind Pascal's Wager, and it looks like a natural evolution of the ideas presented in that title. Ballad of Antara revolves around a mysterious phenomenon that swallows parts of the world into warped dimensions. You're tasked with venturing deep into those lost domains in a bid to curb the world from evil, all while you rescue companions and experience mystical realms filled with all sorts of twisted creatures. With its emotional storytelling and heavy methodical combat, Ballad of Antara could just end up being one of the genre's next big surprises. The PlayStation Network lists 2025 as the release year, but it's best to assume that this has been delayed to next year. Project Jinue. Project Jinue transports players to the Ming Dynasty period of China, where you take on the role of a highly trained agent navigating the political shadows of a crumbling dynasty, undertaking covert missions that blend parkour, swordplay, and subterfuge in a way that feels super fresh. The developers seem to be pushing for a grounded tone, which somehow seems to be working rather well within the context of the gameplay mechanics. With its unique gameplay framework that emphasizes stealth mixed with martial arts, Project Jinue looks like it could fill a niche fans rarely see tackled with such ambition. It's currently listed as a PS5 exclusive, but may come to PC as well. Unfortunately, there is no mention of a release date yet. Faith of Danchant Hereafter. Faith of Danchant was a great game by developer Joyfun, and Hereafter takes those foundations and creates a wide network of fun ideas that come together to make for a coherent experience all around. You take on the role of a father who must rescue his daughter from the wrath of demons, as the adventure will take you across fantastical realms and put you through memorable fight sequences, which all sound really intriguing. Between this and an impressive visual presentation, Faith of Danchant Hereafter is definitely a game worth looking out for. A year ago, it was rumored that the game is moving to Unreal Engine 5, so it may be a while before we see this one in action. Ananta. Ananta subverts expectations by dumping players into a bright, cartoony, open-world adventure that's bursting with color and charm, instead of relying too heavily on mythology and grim tones. You'll roam a lively landscape full of quirky characters and playful creatures, where exploration and discovery take center stage. If you want a lighthearted, imaginative world to get lost in, Ananta looks like one to watch. Imagine GTA, Spider-Man, and all of the best open-world games mixed into one. That's Ananta for you. It'll be out for PS5, PC, and mobile platforms sometime in the future. Longevity Yin and Yang. Longevity Yin and Yang is a narrative-driven action RPG built around the idea of playing as an Imperial soldier from the Jinue. It's targeting to present a deep narrative that's quite obviously personal to the character. Combat is fast yet methodical in the vein of something like Black Myth Wukong, pushing players to adapt to the enemy's strengths. For players who enjoy character-driven storytelling and atmospheric exploration, Longevity Yin and Yang looks like a standout. No platforms are confirmed yet, but we already have a walkthrough, so at the very least, it seems that development is going well. Burning Sword Death Sun. Burning Sword Death Sun is a high-octane action-adventure that's set in a world where ancient martial arts clash with alien energies, making for a fresh perspective. The protagonist wields a mystical blade that's capable of absorbing solar power, and Burning Sword Death Sun leans heavily into this theme with an explosive combat loop and radiant visual effects. Think Wuxia meets Apocalypse. The environments are equally dynamic, ranging from scorched deserts to abandoned structures, and so much more. So definitely check it out. It's been confirmed for PC and has a demo available for Steam. No word on the release date yet, though. Project the Perceiver. Project the Perceiver tells the story of a warrior who has returned from the clutches of death to avenge those who killed him in the first place. It might seem like yet another action RPG at first glance, but the innovations soon start to become clear with its focus on the mask transformation system. It also helps that the visuals are top-notch and the combat is appropriately stylish. There's a lot of potential here that the developers can capitalize on. It has no release date, but will be coming to PS5 and, curiously, the PS4 as well. The Hidden Ones. The Hidden Ones takes you into the criminal underbelly of a sprawling ancient city that's home to plenty of secrets and conspiracies all around. It's based on the popular martial arts franchise The Outcast, so you play as an investigator who's on the hunt for conspiracies and revelations. The game blends investigative storytelling with a gameplay loop that's heavily focused on close-quarters combat. With its emphasis on mystery and giving players a gripping combat experience, The Hidden Ones is shaping up to be a great time. Blood Message. Blood Message is a dark and eerie action horror game inspired by folklore. You play as a warrior who travels through cursed lands that are filled with haunting entities and ferocious creatures hell-bent on taking your life. Its standout feature is the blood writing mechanic, where every time you write a message in blood, it changes the world around you. But doing so also comes with its fair share of risks, such as drawing enemies towards you or making the environment a lot more dangerous. The game's visuals are grim and atmospheric, and combine that with the unique mechanics on display, and Blood Message becomes a rather creative game that's worth checking out. No release date yet, but it's confirmed for PC and consoles. Hey, did you know that we at Gaming Bolt upload new videos every day? Stick around, drop a like, subscribe, and hit that bell. And let us know what kind of content you'd like to see in the future with a comment below.